Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jirbie from Couchwasabi. So today we have a new niche to talk about. It's been quite a while since I last uploaded a video, and I've been very much busy with my personal life, acquiring a new skill. So if you follow me on my Instagram and on my TikTok, you can see that I've been practicing a lot with roller skating. I've never really experienced this when I was young, so I'm a very much ground zero beginner. So if you are someone who just dipped into the world of roller skating and is planning to get your own pair of skates, I have some tips for you. And if you're interested with that, stay tuned. Alright, I'm excited for this video because it took me a while to really film this video. I didn't want to film it when I don't really have much experience nor knowledge in shopping around my very first pair of skates. As you can see, I already have 2 pairs of skates. They're both for beginners, and I'll just share with you some tips and guidelines on what you should think about when you're buying your first ever pair of skates. Okay, so roller skating has had a very good revive here in the Philippines. Just yesterday, I had my very first coaching session where Coach Joel and Coach Norma, they were like the OG figure skaters here in the Philippines, to teach me the basics of outdoor skating. And through them, I knew more about the history of the Philippine skating community, how it started before, I think in the 70s, and how it has slowly been gaining traction in the past 2-3 years, especially during the pandemic. So when I was shopping for my very first pair of skates, it was so hard for me because there aren't really much Filipino produced content. So most of the things that I've been watching on YouTube are from the US, and a lot of those brands are really super expensive. A pair of skates that would go around $189 to $300, $450 is just too much for a Filipino budget. Let's be real. Okay, so here I have 2 beginner pair of skates. I think what's a very good guiding principle whenever you're buying anything is that buy the best that you can afford. So if you only have, for example, if you only have 4,000 pesos or you only have a budget of 3,000 pesos, look for a pair of skates that would maximize your budget. And I will share you the price points of the different kind of skates in the Philippines. What are the things that may look affordable or what may look overpriced. So we'll go into all of those details in a bit. Okay, so if you're into skating and you're planning your first pair of skates, or you just saw a lot of cool skating videos on TikTok and is very enticed to try skating, if you are just into trying roller skating, I would highly suggest for you to not buy your pair of skates. I would recommend you to go to any of the skating rinks available, like Rolio in Makati Circuit or Roller Disco, where you can actually wear rental skates and experience it and see if you're really into skating, rather than shelling out 1,000, 2,000 pesos and realizing that, oh my god, I don't think skating is for me. Okay, so if you're just curious on trying, or you're curious to see how you'd look like with skates, because sometimes it looks so nice and gracious, right? You can just go to any of these indoor skating rinks and give it a go. The one in Circuit would even let you try wear Impala skates, which is an Australian brand, while in Roller Disco you'd get the the typical local branded China-made kind of skates, which is like this one. So this is my very first skates. I got this as a second hand pair of skates, but it's very well maintained. So it looks new. I did a lot of modifications with this. I'll show you how it originally came here. So so far I've already added like an insole, I've added the toe guard or toe cap. I've also switched the wheels into this very cute luminous wheels or glowing wheels. And this is my indoor pair of skates. So this is from Squad Skates. The original price of this when you're buying this brand new is about, I think, 8,000, I think, 7,995. But this is already out of stock. This model is already out of stock. I think they had this on sale for about 4 or 5 or something, but I got this pair for only 3,000. So if you only have a 3,000 pesos working budget, you will see a lot of second-hand pairs being sold online. And if you're really tight into budget, there are actually pairs that would go for about 1,000 pesos or 1,500 pesos. And those tend to be a little more like toys. So if you're a kid, it's fine to use those kind of boots because those kind of skates would normally have plastic plates. The reason why I was very keen on getting this pair is because it already has metal plates. And that's very important if you're trying to be more serious with skating. Those that would go for about 1,000 to 2,000 pesos, 2,500 pesos, would normally have plastic plates. Now, what's the difference between having metal plates and plastic plates? Plastic plates would tend to be lighter and are generally good for beginners. But if you're planning to learn tricks, like maybe spins or a few jumps, it's highly recommended for you to check out metal plates. So I wanted my first pair to be something that's durable, something that would last me a long time, and at the same time would look pretty nice. So if I were to buy a brand new pair of skates, this kinds of skate like those with metal plates, and this is PU, or that's what they call vegan leather, which is basically plastic or synthetic leather. This would go about, let's say, 5,000 to 6,000 pesos if it's a local brand. If it's a foreign brand, that's about 8,000, 7,000 to 8,000 for a foreign brand. Sometimes it could stretch up to 12,000. So these kind of skates would normally wouldn't have adjustable toe stops. So it's a bolt-on, it's called bolt-on toe stops. You can't really do much with it except to modify the collar. And generally, these are good beginner skates. What I don't like about this kind of skates is that the PU leather or the synthetic leather would scratch inside the eyelets of your boot, so it's damaging while you're using it. But if it's your first time or it's your first boot, I guess it's okay. It looks really nice. My next pair of skates, or my upgrade skates, is this one. This is from a local brand called Zodiac Skate. So what I like about this is that this already came in a genuine suede leather boot, and suede is generally more expensive than using PU leather or vegan leather. This is because suede is more tolerant to scratches and bumps, especially when you're using it for outdoor. So basically, this is my indoor skates and this is my outdoor skates. I will talk more about the differences of the two later on. But these kinds of skates, especially those with adjustable brakes, tend to be more expensive. This is a local brand and I got this for 6,000. It was on sale price. Regular price for this is 10,500. The imported brands that would look like this, those with suede boot or sometimes vegan leather boot and metal plates and adjustable brakes, would run for about 18,000 to 20,000+. So this pair of skates with suede boots, and you see the boot is actually stitched on, versus this one, this is just glued together. This would tend to be cheaper, and this would be considered more well-made because of the stitched sole and adjustable toe stops. And generally, the materials made using this is a more expensive material. This is authentic suede leather, and whenever you take this out, like yesterday when I was doing my skates outdoors, I actually fell flat on my butt as usual, and it didn't really do any damage on my boot. Whereas if I were to use this one, you would see a few scratches on every contact with the concrete or with the ground. So this would have more signs of wear versus your suede boot. So if you have more budget, I would highly recommend for you to check out Authentic Suede Boot. And among all the brands here in the Philippines, Zodiac Skates, I think, is the most cost efficient. Right now, it's priced at 6,000. Yesterday, while it was on sale, they only sold this for about 5,700. So that's the best price you can get this pair of skates for. Now, anything beyond 8,000 for me, I think is too expensive for beginners. But if you're someone who's planning to upgrade your pair of skates, this is not really the video for that. I'm only a beginner, and so I can only share with you tips as a beginner. So if you only have, let's say, 1,000, 2,000 peso budget, there are a lot of options that you can see, whether on TikTok Shop or Shopee, and those would only get you something that has plastic plates. And that's okay if you're only doing it for casual skating or, you know, anything that's pretty much gliding. But if you're looking to aggressive skating or jam skating or figure skating, I highly recommend for you to check out skates that would have metal plates. And these would set you back for a minimum of 2,500 or 3,000 if you're getting a second-hand pair of boots, or a minimum of 5,000 pesos if you're getting like a PU leather kind of boot. If you're looking into a better quality kind of skates with adjustable toe stops, then you would need to shell out for about 6,000 pesos. And I think that's very, very reasonable as compared to foreign brands that would set you back for about 15,000 to 8,000 pesos for something similar to this, or for something that would set you back for about 10,000 pesos if you're looking into something like this. Okay, so these two pairs of skates are quite different, although if you are a seasoned skater, you'd tell everyone that it's not really the skates, it's your skill, which is true. But sometimes the tool or your pair of skates would also help your performance. And getting the wrong kind of skates would actually set you back with your skill. And that's what I've learned having experienced both indoor and outdoor skating. Okay, so let's first talk about my indoor skates and how different it is with my outdoor skates. Okay, so my indoor pair of skates, I chose to have something that's very flashy because when you're skating inside the rink, it's normally dim, and so having your glow wheels and, you know, a very, very nice and bright pair of boots would be really, really fun. But the key difference of the two would be this is a bolt-on toe stop and this is adjustable. This is very important for me because I would need more flexibility when I'm outdoors, especially when I'm skating through uneven surfaces, just like what I did yesterday. Also, another big difference from the two is that this has harder wheels. This is actually 82A and these are 78A. Also, the diameter is bigger. So if you compare the two, my wheels on my outdoor skates are bigger in size and they're softer. So the 78A wheels would let me glide through uneven surfaces more efficiently than using a harder kind of wheel. So anything that is in 85A and above, that's considered a hard wheel, and so you only would have to use that indoors, or else you'll actually be damaging your wheels. I saw that firsthand yesterday and it was really horrible. So anything that's in 82A or 85A grade, they're called hybrid, which is this one. So it's in the middle. You can use this whether indoor or outdoor. But I chose to use this indoor. The harder the wheel, the more slippery it gets on any surface. So if you're a beginner, I would highly suggest for you to check out 78A wheels. They are a lot softer than those in 92 or 101A wheels. The harder the wheel, the more longevity it has. But the softer the wheel, I feel that it's more appropriate for beginners. In fact, when I was starting my skating practice in my room, I would tend to put a piece of towel on the floor just to add grip, and so to prevent me from sliding off. easily. I used this as my very first pair of skates. This is considered a hybrid skate because it's 82A grade wheel. And so I can actually use this indoor and outdoor, but since I'm a beginner, I chose to use this 78A wheel. As you can see, we have some dirt on the wheel because I used this yesterday outdoor. And even then, it was still very slippery. So just be very, very careful, especially when you're a beginner. You just have to find your balance and your strength before you can actually do tricks. But so far, I'm very, very much happy with my pair of skates. If you only have a budget for one pair, I would highly suggest for you to save up for something like this, because this will take you on in the long run. In fact, I think the best thing about roller skating is that you can actually do a lot of modifications. So with roller skating, you can actually switch up your laces. You can actually add toe caps like this. I actually have a toe cap meant for this pair that's incoming from the mail. You can also modify your brakes. So I was planning to modify this with gumballs, but I was thinking maybe I should learn how to skate first before shelling out so much. Another thing, you can modify the wheels. So the wheels are the most basic thing that you can modify with. There are different sizes of wheels. For example, this is 58 millimeter and these are 62 millimeter. And then I ordered a set of 65 millimeter wheels, which are like bigger and gummier. So those are meant for outdoors. And the bigger the wheel, it gives you more speed. It has more surface area, so it gives you more speed. But it's also more unstable. So if you are into spins and tricks, it's better for you to have small wheels. But if you're just training and you're just trying to get your speed and get some basic runs with your pair of skates, 65 millimeter is fine. So this is actually a good mid-range or mid-quality pair of skates. This is 62 millimeter, which is very, very good for beginners. You have adjustable toe stops and it's already in suede leather. So plus it's actually stitched in. The sole is actually stitched in. So that is more durable than something that is just glued together, which most China-made boots are that way. So if you're on a tight budget, there are a lot of skates that would go below 1,000 pesos, and I usually see them on TikTok or Shopee. And those are pretty much fine. There are those that would go around 1,500 to 2,500, brand new. And those are okay, but still those are something that would have plastic plates. So if you only have budget for that, and if you are just planning to do this as a casual skater, it's fine. But if you're looking at having this skill or hobby as something that's for the long run, I would highly suggest for you to check out Zodiac Skates. I think it's a very, very nice Filipino brand. It gives the best bang for your buck. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just very impressed with how they made their boot, and they just tick a lot of boxes in my opinion. And now that it's on sale, I think it's the best time for you to get it. I hope I covered the basics in choosing your very first pair of skates. If you have any other questions about this, don't hesitate to comment below. And by the way, before I forget, my super thanks is activated on this channel. So if you enjoyed this video and you think you learned a lot and you enjoyed any of my other videos and would like to support my channel, don't forget to send your super thanks. It's the heart icon with a $sign in it. That's super thanks. It lets you support your favorite content creator so that we can do more informational videos for you. Okay? Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!